And welcome everyone to F.A.T. Toastmaster Contest Night. Welcome to our guests as well. Without further ado, I'd like to turn it over to the competition chief judge, Chris. And Chris, could you tell us about the contest?
Thank you, Patty. Yeah, I'll be the contest judge, chief judge for this contest. And let me explain a little bit rules about that, what we are going to have about the contest rules for this first part. That will be an evaluation contest. We will have a target speaker. He's going to come and present for 5 to 7 minutes a speech. Once he is done, we are going to have a 1-minute break, and then we are going to take out all the contestants for the evaluation contest to a separate room where they will be given 5 minutes to write down all their evaluation points. During that, after 5 minutes, they will be called back into our main room and they will present their evaluation. So that is going to be the process, the first evaluation contest. And at the end of that, they will have judges will have some time to mark out all their evaluation. And after that, we will have a break. Then we will continue with the second part of our contest. If there is any questions, I'll be more than happy to explain, or if I left something, you can ask me also regarding the rules for the contest.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay, thank you. Back to contest chair or Toastmaster, sorry.
Great, Chris. Thank you very much. Now, my goal is to ask every speaker to do a sound check before we get started. So if I neglect to give you an opportunity to do a sound check when I introduce you, please make sure we get that before your speech starts so that you have a chance to check the sound. And we're getting ready to jump right into it. We have a special target speaker tonight. And George, would you like to test your sound before I introduce you?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
George, you sound great. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our target speaker, George Fernandez. Reaching the Sky with Toastmaster. Reaching the Sky with Toastmaster, George Fernandez.
Patty, did you announce a contestant order at that later?
I could announce it now. Do you want it announced first for the evaluation?
Yes, go ahead. Please
Okay.
go.
The evaluation contestants, the first evaluation contestant is Prem Kumar Somasundaram. The second, and that's Prem Kumar Somasundaram. And the second evaluation contestant is Gary Lynch. Gary Lynch is the second evaluation contestant. The third evaluation contestant is Ken Colm. Ken Colm is the third evaluation contestant. And the fourth evaluation contestant is Gwen Sue. Gwen Sue is the fourth evaluation contestant. And I think we're ready to begin the target speaker. George Fernandez, Reaching the Sky with Toastmaster. Reaching the Sky with Toastmasters, George Fernandez.
To some people, the sky is the limit. To flight attendants, the sky is home. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, hello. My name is George Fernandez, and my residency is from the most beautiful city in the world, San Francisco, California. I'm here tonight to apply for the position of flight attendant, which is one of the exciting careers one can possess. Can you imagine this? Not only wearing the airline uniform and jet setting from one place and into the other, but having all eyes focus on me in front of the passengers on board the plane. I'm a team player, good at quick thinking on my feet, and know how to react in any given emergency before, during, and after the flight. Presently, I am at the Travel Academy, a 10-week intensive program at Eagan, Minnesota, approximately 20 minutes south of Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Twin Cities. And boy, is it cold here. At the Travel Academy, I'm preparing myself for the application, interviewing, and the possible rigorous 4 to 8 weeks training, depending on which airlines offer before I graduate and receive my wings. This week, I'm learning pre-flight boarding procedures and what to learn from the PIC, which is Pilot in Command, and LFA, which stands for Lead Flight Attendant. Listening and very strong communication skills apply when receiving debriefing talks from each of these two important leaders. I've also learned that flight attendants must be trained in the event of if there are expected and unexpected emergencies, such as turbulence. You may ask yourself, why must I listen to a flight attendant? Fellow Toastmasters, the most important duty I have is to care for your safety. That is one of the reasons when I am behind the PA, the public announcement system, or I am barking out commands, I am preparing to save your life and the lives of others in a matter of seconds. So, how has Toastmasters prepared me for this? Communication. Flight attendants must possess excellent customer service skills. We have a smile on our face when we greet you when you board the plane, and thank you when you leave the plane. It is my honor to serve the passengers who have entrusted me with their lives. And I appreciate the airline that will hire me and know that I'm the one of the best to represent and to be the face of the company. For now, I have to learn to have the knowledge and skills to qualify into one of the airline programs. That is why when the rigorous challenge begins. Another quality that I have learned from Toastmasters is teamwork. Depending on the type of aircraft that I will be working on, there are a number of flight attendants that I will be working with. Flight attendants do have their individual assignments, whether it may be serving first class, the business cabin, or the main economy, or the back of the cabin. During a club meeting, each member contributes making the meeting work out beautifully. The timer, the grammarian, the general evaluator, and so forth. Remember, the Toastmasters is in charge of the meeting, just like the PIC, Pilot in Command. Even the Sergeant at Arms, when he or she announces the meeting, it's the same time. It's like the gate service agent closes the cabin doors to begin the start of the flight's departure. Thirdly, service. Passengers will judge me and rate me immediately as I am serving them with beverage, food, answering their questions, or even requesting their attention for departure and arrival instructions. Just like you, as the evaluators, you must be rating on my poise, diction, intonation, voice inflection, as well as my content of speech, and whether or not I'm connecting with the audience. Service is the biggest ingredient to making a successful flight experience. Without superior service, you as passengers would take your business somewhere else. That is why you as customers are the most important people on board the plane, because you have many choices in airlines to fly. So to sum up my speech, communication, teamwork, and service are my three main reasons why I want to be a flight attendant. There is one final quality that I must mention that is the jewel or the epitome of these three things: safety. Even though the skies are my home, my duty is to bring you and your loved ones to your destination safely, so that at the end of the day, you receive that long, loving embrace from your loved one, your mom and dad, or those long-awaited kisses from your children, grandchildren, or travel animal that made the flight. It is that satisfactory feeling that you arrive there, and as your flight attendant, I'm happy with tears that you are sharing that loving moment being together, either the first time or again. So, my name is George Fernandez, and I hope that you will hire me as your flight attendant in 2021, and I can earn my wings to serve you always. Thank you. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, George. I appreciate your speech. Thank you very much. Now we'd like to move the evaluators into their break room. Let me just look and see, have the evaluators moved to the break room? It looks like they have. All right. Let's get started, George. George, what brought you to Toastmasters, and what Toastmasters group are you involved with?
I worked for the California Department of Transportation for many years, and I spent most of my life with Demosthenes Toastmasters. And for many years, I've worked with them, and I've learned to appreciate District 57 and be able to reach out and grow and become a Toastmaster for a very long time.
Ah, great. And could you tell us, what are some of your biggest challenges in being a flight attendant? Or what do you anticipate will be your challenges?
I think the biggest challenge is to be able to not only to smile, they always tell me to smile through the interviews and to be courteous, but also there is a part of me that has to be very much on top of any emergency procedures. If the pilot says there is going to be turbulence, and asking passengers to please recognize the unexpectancies, it's part of the procedure in order to keep the passengers safe and happy. And in event of emergency, of course, the passengers are going to look at the flight attendant and asking, what are you going to do? What are we going to do? And it's my ability to act within seconds to save the passengers on the plane and everyone else.
Yep. Now I fly quite a bit, but I don't fly nearly as much as you. But my big challenge is jet lag and the time zones. Do you have any tricks for us or tips that you recommend?
I've heard that some people say that drinking a lot of coffee is a good idea if you're a coffee drinker or a tea drinker. Making sure you, after a long flight, to they call stretch your legs, walk around. Just walk around and be able to kind of unwind. A long jet flight is exhausting. That's why you have those carousels. Jetway from the airport to the back luggage compartment, baggage claim. You just want to make sure, instead of using those moving jetways, to just to walk through the baggage claim. That's one of the best things to do.
You got to walk, huh?
Yes.
Get the blood flowing again. Okay. Now, Ronnie, you've got the timer on green. It hasn't been 5 minutes though, right? Do we still have
3 minutes? Yeah, still have 2 more minutes.
Great. Thank you very much, Barani. Okay, what else would you like to tell us, George? What do you do in your spare time?
I think that right now, with being at the Travel Academy, I am mostly focused on learning the procedures, federal regulation procedures, learning how to deal with commands, what to do in an emergency, learning the airline, the jet, and the configurations, where the emergency equipment is located, where the panel is, how to relax behind the PA system. Everything Toastmasters has trained me before has helped me to be confident, because the audience are the passengers, and you want them their attention, and you want to make sure they like you, and that they are listening to you. And it's really the key thing as far as being able to give them safety instructions, and also know when the seatbelt is on, to make sure they lower their armrests, or they're bring their tray to the upright position, all those other commands. It's maybe small things, but it's for the safety. And I understand the safety reasons why flight attendants are enforcing those little rules that people say, oh, what's so big about them? Because they're for your safety.
Hey, George, I'm going to wrap up with I have one more question for you, but it's kind of has two parts.
Okay.
And I can see we have like a minute left. Can you tell us, is there a certain airline that you're most interested in working for? And do you have
That's
any
a very good question.
opening fun? You know how Southwest, they do those crazy openings. Do you have a prepared opening?
I think that one of the things in the interview that we have to do is to introduce ourselves. So the speech kind of was giving, hello, my name is George Fernandez, because we're introducing ourselves to the airline. The recruiters are looking at us, and we're potential flight attendants. And like Southwest is a very fun-spirited, easygoing airline. And to be able to fit into their culture, if you're in a JetBlue, United, or American, or Delta, they're more polished, more professional, and there's a lot more to be expected. So it depends on the environment and the type of culture that you are going to exemplify for the company. So it's very important. And like for United, thank you for flying the friendliest skies. And for Southwest, we love you. And you know, it's just not one of those nice things that you have to remember to associate with each airline.
George, thank you very much. We certainly appreciate having you as our target speaker, and we will get started with evaluations. Thank you, George.
Thank you, Toastmasters, for having me. Wish you all the best. Happy New Year, and please stay safe.
Thank you, George. Has Prem re-entered? I'm looking to see if he's back. Karen, please send in the first contestant. So
Well,
Prem should be back.
Yeah.
Looking for Prem here. One moment. Oh, there he is. Hey, Prem. Prem, can we do a sound check before I introduce you, please? Can't hear you, Prem. Your mic is
Sound test 1, 2, 3.
Great. Thank you very
And
much.
can you see the timer?
Timer, I can't, Bharani, hold on, I don't see the, I can see the timer now.
That's great. So I'm going to introduce our first evaluator is Prem Kumar Somansundaram. Somansundaram, our first evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster, and good evening to fellow Toast members, and a special good evening to Judge, the star of the day. Judge, what a wonderful speech. Your voice is crystal clear. I was able to follow each and every word that you pronounced. What an excellent body language. When you are trembling, I was also shaking in my chair. That is one of the amazing things that I've seen. I was so involved in your speech. And the way in which you enacted the whole speech, when you told that you had, when the passengers go, they had tears in their eyes, you are actually having some tears and your voice went low. What amazing acting. Overall, George, it was one of the best speech I have heard. And also the way in which you compared the Toastmaster roles to the roles that are played in the flight attendants was very, I will say, for us easy to compare for us. What are the things that you can do different? The first thing is your eye contact. We were able to listen to your speech thoroughly. At the same time, we also found that you were also looking on monitor or something, so that your eye contact constantly was going one way or the other. So I would suggest you have prepared a wonderful speech. At the same time, you can also try to ensure that you are seeing the audience more frequently. That is one thing I would suggest. The second thing is your movement. You are very close to camera, and the advantage is we can listen to you properly, but the challenge is we want to have some movement so that audience can relate to you and it's not monotonous. That's one thing I would suggest. And the third thing, which I also struggle as a speaker, is the lighting. During the previous speech, the lighting was so dim, so audience cannot thoroughly see your screen. So I will also suggest on your lighting to get improved. But overall, what an amazing speech, George. And if I am the hiring manager, I will be hiring you immediately for the flight attendant role. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prem. That was great. Appreciate that. Now we're going to have the timer give 1 minute for the judges, please. All right, our second evaluator is Gary Lynch. Gary Lynch, second evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention. Can you see the timer, please? Looking for Barani.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Second evaluator, Gary Lynch. Gary Lynch, second evaluator, please.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Hello, everyone. And hello, George. I would say that it was a fantastic speech overall. I could see that you're really passionate about being a flight attendant, and I expect you to get that job in the future. Considering how much you really know about the subject, you made it really apparent from how much you know that how much you know the social aspect of it with the knowledge. I mean, the acronyms from PIC to working with a team, those became really apparent in your speech. And there were some things I did notice that I think that you could grow on. And those would be more about how we kind of see you. Like your camera's kind of faced up at an angle, so we couldn't see your hands. But I did notice that you did show some movement with, for example, explaining turbulence. And you showed you're very enthusiastic by smiling a lot. That's something that I sometimes don't see in speeches. And And something I thought you could also improve on is that, sorry, at I kind of at the end I was trying to piece together the takeaway message that you were trying to give us. You mentioned that you were trying to get hired, but I figured that you were trying to get us a sense of why we should appreciate flight attendants and how much effort goes into being one. Like when I go flying, I don't usually think about stuff like this, but now I might thank the flight attendant more often now, knowing how much effort goes into it. And I feel like if you really honed in that message on that we should really have an appreciation for them, then people would be able to organize. Well, I did notice there was organization in your speech from you reiterating that it involves communication, teamwork, and service. And yeah, overall, it was a fantastic speech. And yeah, just like with the camera thing, I think that would be a big thing, and it would allow people to be more engaged in what you were saying. But yeah, overall, great job.
Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate your speech. And Barani, if you could give the judges 1 minute on the timer, please.
Minute is up.
Great. Thank you, Barani. Hey, Ken, I see you in the room. Ken, before we get started, wanted to make sure that we do a sound check with you. Can you test your sound, please?
Sure. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3.
You sound great. And I want to make sure you see Barani, the timer.
I
Can you
do.
see
I have
Barani?
a pen. Thank you.
Perfect. With that, I'd like to introduce you. Our third evaluator for the competition is Ken Colm. Ken Colm, our third evaluator. Take it away.
George, what an entertaining and interesting speech. Thank you. I thought it was great from the start of the title, taking a flight with F.A.T, or the sky is the limit, sorry. And the sky is your home as a flight attendant. I thought it was also very great how you walked us, or should I say, flew us through a life as a flight attendant or flight attendant to be. And it really was a slice of your life right at this moment. So I thought that was great. The other points that I really liked were the organization of the speech. I thought you had 4 great points that you walked us through the whole time, from the communication, and that's what brought you to F.A. or to Toastmasters, about to say F.A.T, that's our club, to the teamwork that Toastmasters has helped you with and that you need so desperately in a situation where you are relying on your team up in the air to help and accommodate the passengers. To the service, that's really what it's about, is that you are up there to serve your guests or your other employees. And I loved how you ended with a safety. That's the most important part of flying with anybody, is to have that trust and that safety factor. That's really great that you ended with that. The things that I thought maybe could have used a little bit of work. Overall, I thought it was very sound and I loved the enthusiasm you have, but I thought the speed might have been a little bit fast paced. I thought maybe you could slow it down just a little bit. And then just little technical issues. Looking into the camera always helps connect with the audience. It seemed that you were looking, at least to me, to the side, one side or the other. So that possibly could help you connect better with us, the audience, and your speech. And then the acronyms. Loved all the acronyms. I'm not going to go through them right now because I couldn't do them justice. But I thought the acronyms and the information were all equally important and interesting, but maybe consolidating them or paring them down a little bit and making them a little bit more concise would have helped the listener and the audience just connect a little bit more and follow the speech. But overall, I thought, again, that you had a great title, you had a great intro, and you really walked us through a very interesting slice of your life. And we really enjoyed it, at least I did, and really connected to it. So thank you for your speech and keep on going.
Awesome. Thank you, Ken. And now we'd like to give the judges 1 minute on the timer, please, Barani.
I miss flying. Just when I thought I was so sick of being stuck at home, George, you took us on a plane ride. I really like when you started with, for some people, skies is the limit. For some people, sky is home. It's so beautiful. You also had a crystal clear pronunciation. And I know I'll enjoy it when you do the PA, public announcement. I like your speech organization. You started with your personal experience. You touch on 3 points, the communication, teamwork, and service, and then you closed out with safety. This is a great, very organized structure, very clear for the audience. And oh, George, I really enjoyed the last part of your speech. You mentioned about mom and dad, loving moments together. It's either first time or again. It's just so emotional and so beautiful. Good job there, George. Since I've been watching a lot of speech contest finals on the website, I fantasize how George can take this speech to the finals. And I have 2 suggestions. The first one is vocal variety. I found some pockets in your speech where you can create that vocal variety. So on top of your words, you are really taking the audience with you on that flight attendance experience. For example, you can say, safety is the most important thing. And then the last part, loving moments together, first time or again. Just create that dramatic vocal variety would make it even better. The second thing is kind of the same as the first one, is to step back, because we can only see your head. If you step back and act it out, that would make it even more vivid to the audience. For flight attendant, there are so many signature gestures where you can play it out. And that would just make it more fun. We all missed it. None of us are flight attendants except you. So that would just make that whole experience better. To sum it up, I really think the organization of your speech is fantastic. Your pronunciation, the story, and the emotional part of it is just very great. Think about working on the vocal variety and try to act it out. Well, George, thank you for the plane ride. And I have confidence I'll see you in the speech final one day. Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen. And Barani, if you could please put 1 minute for the judges on the timer for us.
Trying to get into dental school for several years now, and the one barrier that I can't get past is the interview. So I was recommended by one school to find some sort of public speaking or interviewing course, and I've always heard about Toastmasters because my dad was a part of it, and I was nervous because I didn't know how to get started. I didn't know anyone, but luckily my mom knew somebody who was in the program, and they were able to introduce me to the program I'm in. And what I hope to get out of the program is to be able to get past that interview, because it's pretty much my dream to become a dentist. And I feel like because being a dentist requires a lot of social interaction and public speaking, that this program will greatly benefit me. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Gary. We've seen you blossom, so I am confident that you will be getting into dental school, and we'll be right there cheering you on. What we're going to do now is take just a couple-minute break. And then you won't want to be late coming back from the break, because we have a special, Jean is going to lead us in a special exercise. So you'll want to come back. Let's take a 2-minute break and come back at 7:50. So feel free to grab a drink, restroom, and come back at 7:50, please.
Thank you. May I invite everyone to take a moment to PBSA. Pause, breathe, smile, and aware. Please gently close your eyes. Pause, stop all your thinkings, all your doings. Just appreciate and be in the present moment. Breathe in deeply, breathe out slowly, soaking in the fresh energy, the love, the confidence, and smile. Smile to relax from your head to toe, from your body. Let go of any tension, let go of any stress, especially our contestant coming up. You are with all friends, no judgment. You will be awesome. And aware of your words, your thoughts, your actions. You know you're awesome, and you're with an awesome company. Again, breathing in, see your abdomen inflates. Breathing out, see your abdomen deflates. In deeply, out slowly. Breathing in, soaking positive energy. Breathing out, let go of any negative energy or stress. One more time. Breathing in, feel confident. breathing out, feel loved and appreciated. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Jean. I could do a guided meditation with you every day and thoroughly enjoy it. All right, we're into our second part of the evening and our F.A.T. contest night. And I'd like to bring Chris, our chief judge, back to talk about this portion of the contest.
I think they're still in the breakout room.
Oh,
They must
okay.
still be counting. We'll,
Okay, that makes sense.
we'll just have to like chill for a few minutes, I guess.
We also can use this time to have some of our guests quickly introduce them. I don't know whether we want to or not.
That's a great idea.
I'll just us acknowledging the different names, different guests.
Would some of our guests like to say hello? Diane, I see you there. Matthew,
Sure.
You want to start? Go ahead, Diane.
Sure. While Matt takes himself off of mute, Matt is a member at a club that I'm in at Word Weavers, and he has been our sergeant at arms for many years and loves Toastmasters. He loves to travel. He was in Australia, visited a club and was a sergeant at arms for the club there. And Philip Riedel, who is an area director, is also president of Word Weavers. And thanks to Sherry Sue for inviting all of us tonight. We're thrilled to be here, and we're most impressed with how the meeting is run with your forms. It's top notch. Thrilled to be here.
Thank you. Ming, I see you right there on my screen. You're right next to Diane. Would you like to say hello and tell us a little bit about yourself?
I don't think I'm a guest anymore, but I'm a returning member. So I've been F.A.T. club like 2 years ago, and went away and then came back.
Yay, welcome back. Great to see you. Matthew, do you want to say hi?
Hello, everyone. Sound testing. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank Sherry for inviting all of us to your contest. It's been a privilege to be here. I also went to one last night too as well from one of our members. And one thing I love about the contest, I learned so much from Toastmasters, especially how to be a flight attendant, which I was really amazed because I travel a lot, and I just kept on thinking how much I would have to work and I travel so much, Dan. And now I have a better idea what it takes to be a flight attendant, Dan. And I thank George Fernandez for introducing us on how to be a flight attendant. And I look forward to talking with George Fernandez on more about the flight attendants. And it's been a great speech contest. And I think it's once again, I thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you, Matthew. And I see Armandeep, welcome tonight.
Hi. Yeah, so I will also be not guest. I'm also joining. I will be member of the club soon. And yeah.
Welcome, yay. That is wonderful, Armandeep. Thank you. I'm glad to see you and welcome back.
Thank you.
Kate, do you have just a moment? I see you're there.
Yes. Now you know why I'm so proud of Division I, right? This club is the one to beat. I desperately try to get on every invitation, open house, contest. I don't care what event it is. It's going to be fun. It's going to be run well. And someday it's going to get to the point with this club where you're going to have maybe a special invitation. They won't be able to let everybody in. And I'm just looking at 2 people joined tonight, right? It's the club that really is a shining star for Division I, and not for always the reasons you see. They're the ones to reach out and help the other clubs, the district. Every district event you will find folks from F.A.T. And I love their sharing kind heart to help people, whether they're coaching them on a speech or they're helping the district. They're top notch. And I'm so proud to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. That's wonderful. Appreciate those words. Philip, can we welcome you? Would you like to say something, please?
I am so grateful to be here. This is an excellent learning experience. I'm going to have to ask you to send me those forms after this. I'm learning so much. I love the way the meeting is run. It's very precise. Your speakers are on time. The way you have the messages through the, breakout rooms. It's the way you have it all coordinated is something to be modeled. And I'm going to be taking this with me for the future stuff that we are doing. And I'm so grateful to have such support, not only here in the Toastmasters community, but also with the experience we have in our Word Weavers Club. And I just got to say thank you for having us tonight. And Sherry, thank you so much for inviting us. I'm learning a lot. Back to you.
Thank you, Philip. We have it down to the minute. What the agenda?
Unfortunately, we're now behind. We're now behind. So.
You know what? We're by just 10 minutes. So we're ready, Sherry?
Yes.
Let me turn it over to you then, Sherry.
To me? No, it's going to our chief judge.
Okay. I didn't see him earlier, but okay. Chief Judge Chris, I see you now. Yes. Take it away, Chris.
Thank you, everybody. And let me put the mic. So we had the results, everything, but we are going to hold the result till the end of the meeting. Thank you, everybody, the judges and participants. We had really a good speeches and evaluation from all the participants. With that, I think we need to move on to the break time. Is it the one, Sherry? Yeah, we are going to have a break for...
No. We lost our break.
Oh, we lost the break.
We did.
Since we are running out of time, we are going to move to the second part of our contest, which is going to be speech contest. So with that, is it Jean is going to give us breathing exercise or relaxation? So we skip that?
No.
Okay, since
that already did.
With the time issue, we are going to skip the few items on our agenda. We are going to go to the next part of our meeting. So the next part of our meeting is speech contest. In the speech contest, every contestant is given 5 to 7 minutes and they can choose whatever subject they want to talk and deliver a speech. They have 30 seconds, both the sides to off. They can go to 4:30 as well as 7 minutes, 30 seconds. That's the allowed time, which they should be able to cover their speech. At the end of the speech, the contest, we have judges, we give time for them to mark the ballots in between each contestant. At the end of the contestants, we will have final results after all the 5 contestants have finished. So with that, if there is any questions, I'll be more than happy to say, or if you don't have any questions, we can move on to the part. So with that said, I believe there is nobody has any questions. So I'll hand over the mic to Toastmaster, Patty.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much, Chris.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get into our international speech contest, and I'm going to announce the order of the contestants. The first speaker will be Prem Kumar Somasamandrar. Prem Kumar Somasamandaran is the first contestant. The second contestant is Gwen Su. Gwen Su is the second contestant. The third contestant is Ken Colm. Ken Colm is the third contestant. The fourth contestant is Sarah Boesfield. Sarah Boesfield is the fourth contestant. And the fifth contestant is Jim Christian. Jim Christian is the fifth contestant. All right, with that, we will start with our first contestant. Will the other contestants go into the break room or will they be in the room? They get to stay in the room. Thank you. All right. Prem, I'd like to do a sound check with you. No, I can't hear you, Prem.
That's the second time it's happening. Sorry, Patty. Can you hear me now?
Excellent. Yes, I sure can.
Awesome.
And I want to make sure you can see the timer. Can you see the timer, Prem?
Yes.
Great. Our first contestant is Prem Kumar Somasumandaram, Marathon Journey. Marathon Journey, Prem Kumar Somasundaram.
Thank you, Toastmaster, and good evening to the fellow Toastmasters. Please raise your hand if you all believe health is the real wealth. Please raise your hand if you all believe exercising is a good habit. And please raise your hand if positive thoughts are essential in everyone's life. A healthy body will lead to well-defined thoughts. Well-defined thoughts will lead to massive actions. And massive actions will eventually make your dream come true. The foundation of having a healthy body is to exercise regularly. So, fellow Toastmasters, let us all exercise at least 15 minutes every day to strengthen our body and mind. Back in 2019, I can't even run 0.2 miles. I will be grasping for breath as if I'm engaged in a full fist boxing match with Muhammad Ali. Thanks to one of my friends, I reluctantly participated or signed up for a Santa Cruz half marathon. Throughout the entire race, I struggled to run and even walk. I was crawling and I was almost about to give up. Then I saw an old woman in her 70s who was running past me. I said to myself, what? Pray, you can't let this happen. I pushed myself and crossed the finish line. The moment of happiness lasted for a few seconds. The elder woman completed her full marathon, which is double the distance of what I ran. My hats off for the elder woman who had the determination and the willpower to complete the entire race. From that day onwards, I took marathon very seriously. From January 2020, I followed a strict schedule, like working out in a gym every 3 days and running the remainder of the 3 days in the week. It all went well till March 2020, when coronavirus put a screeching break in everyone's life. I had a decision to make, whether to stop working out and running or continue to pursue my dream. I chose to pursue my dream. From March 2020, I started to work out in my home and run the remaining 3 days every day. I start to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and run every 3 days in the week. By the end of 2020, I was able to run 15 half marathons. There are lots of positive happenings that happened because of my marathon. I was able to lose 40 pounds. I started to eat healthy foods. But the most important thing is both my body and my mind changed completely or transformed completely. For the year 2021, I have another dream, Ironman 70.3. It includes 1.2 miles of swimming, 56 miles of biking, and 13.1 miles of running. It's a monumental task, but it all starts with the dream and determination. So, fellow Toastmasters, can you all exercise at least 15 minutes every day? Just start with walking around the block. As I said, these small actions will eventually turn into massive actions and will make your dream come true. Martin Luther King said, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, crawl. And if you can't crawl, just roll over. But whatever you do, just move forward. We have a limited life in this world. Let us all live to the fullest of our ability. So, my dear fellow Toastmasters, I sincerely encourage everyone to exercise at least 15 minutes every day to strengthen our body and my mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prem. And timer, please put 1 minute for the judges on the timer. Thank you very much.
Minute is up.
Thank you, Barani. Our next speaker, Gwen, before we get started, could you please do a sound check?
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3.
Great, you sound great. And I want to make sure, can you see the timer, please?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Our second speaker in the contest is Gwen Su. Gwen Su's title is A Jar Full of Love, A Jar Full of Love, Gwen Su.
The story begins with a green smoothie. I make green smoothie for my husband every morning. It has mixed berries, bananas, and green vegetables. I put it in a mason jar so he can take it to work. I've been doing it on a regular basis just to make sure he gets an extra boost in fiber and vitamin C. I'm proud of it. This is the way I express love for my family. I'd imagine he says, this is so delicious. I feel healthy, energetic, and refreshed. Honey, thank you, and I love you so much. The reality is this. Do I really have to drink this? I said, yes. He squeezed his nose and chucked it. Ooh, done. Obviously, his reaction wasn't what I anticipated. I do believe he understands finishing smoothie every day is important to me. One day, my husband came home late from work, and I didn't see an empty jar. I asked him, as if that's the only thing I care about. Did you drink the smoothie? Where's the jar? He seemed nervous and said, I was really busy today. I didn't drink it. It's still in the car. Maybe it was a long day for me. Maybe I always felt underappreciated. I flipped out. I started ranting. Do you know how much effort it takes me to do that every single morning? They're organic and very expensive. I did it because it's good for you. If you don't like it, just tell me so I can stop wasting my time. Oh man, I was on fire. I was so determined to show him my frustration that I even went upstairs to our room, shut the door, just to prove the point that I was right and he's the one to blame. I sat down on the bed. I was supposed to feel victorious after my dramatic gesture. Instead, I felt awful. I just yelled at my husband over a smoothie. What's wrong with me? Why did I respond this way to someone I love? Suddenly, this terrible feeling turned into a déjà vu. It reminded me of a scene when I was a little girl. I didn't like vegetables. My mom would put veggies on a spoon and push it all the way to my mouth and speak in an intimidating tone saying, you better eat this. This is good for you. I hated vegetables, but I hated even more being forced to do so. My mom loved me. Her way of expressing love made me nervous and even terrified. Isn't that just what I did to my husband? I love him by forcing him to do what I think is right. My fellow Toastmasters, do you know that love is never alone? That love always needs a companion? We love someone by expressing certain emotions. Those emotions are love's companion. When we pair love with a companion, the decision is usually done within a millisecond in our subconscious. The question is, are we pairing love with a companion that makes our relationship stronger or weaker? A mother said to her daughter, you have to take this class because I know what's best for you. She paired love with control. A father said to his son, I have to work and make money so you can continue your basketball class. He paired love with fortune. A girlfriend asked her boyfriend, I didn't mean to check your phone, but who's the girl that's texting you today? She paired love with jealousy. A husband refused to apologize to his wife first. He paired love with pride. When my mom shuffled veggies to my mouth against my will, she paired love with dominance. When I yelled at my husband over a smoothie, I paired love with anger. Do any of those sound familiar to you? Why do we always pair love with the wrong companion? Dr. Oz once said, the opposite of anger is not calmness, it's empathy. Empathy is to put yourself in other people's shoes and see the world through their eyes. That's it. Empathy is the answer, the magic bullet, the best companion of love. In my green smoothie incident at home, without empathy, my mind was about winning, not understanding. Without empathy, I was trying to be heard, not listen. I didn't even notice my husband said he was really busy at work. If I could go back in time, I would pair love with empathy and tell him, wow, you must be exhausted. Tell me what happened. I wouldn't focus on the smoothie he never finished. I wouldn't focus on me. During this unprecedented time, we're anxious about the unknown future. Many of us feel suffocated at home. Our life is not normal. Those negative emotions like anger, selfishness, and control jump out so fast that turn us into a cactus covered with thorns. Who wants to hug a cactus covered with thorns? Only when we pair love with empathy, we express love with open arms. With empathy, we stop making assumptions and start listening. With empathy, we can make any relationship stronger. With empathy, I can finally turn my green smoothie into a full jar of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen. If we could get 1 minute on the timer for the judges, please.
Not gallery view. Up at the top. That's it, Gene.
Minute is up.
Thank you, Barani. Ken, before we start your speech, can we do a sound check, please?
Sure. Check, 1, 2, 3. Check, 1, 2, 3.
Great, you sound great. And I want to confirm, can you see the timer, please?
Yes, I can see Barani.
Excellent. Our third speaker tonight is Ken Colm. The importance of sleep. The importance of sleep, Ken Colm.
I never thought of the importance of sleep and really didn't give much thought to it. This is until I had a bad case of insomnia way back in that year we're trying to forget, 2020. the problem with sleep is that you never seem to quite get enough. But this was a different case. What I didn't realize was that 1 in every 4 people suffer from insomnia every year. And this is according to the University of Pennsylvania's School of Medicine. That is a fact that I really didn't realize. And I can't see myself. Okay, sorry about that. So over 1 in 4 people suffer from insomnia. As I mentioned, a University of Pennsylvania study stated. But the good news is that over 75% of the people that suffer from insomnia recover from it. So let me tell you my story. Way back in April of 2020, I was suffering from a bad case of insomnia, as I mentioned. Our house was warm and our upstairs bedroom was even warmer. That was basically a combination effect or a perfect storm. The fact that I couldn't get the bedroom cooled off at night, that combined with the fact that I was stressed out over my job and stresses of making the sales, those two combined with the fact that the coronavirus is going to have a negative impact on my body and possibly all my relationships in life. These led me to 3 nights of not being able to sleep. This was awful. I tried everything. It was basically a roller coaster, lots of ups and downs and side to sides. I just couldn't find anything that worked. I tried taking natural medicine like melatonin, other methods that were over-the-counter medicines, and everything in between. Nothing seemed to work or be a long-term solution to my problems. Then I sought the help of a medical professional. Medical professional, my doctor said that I should try something different, an antidepressant. I said, wow, that sounds a little heavy. But he said that there was no major side effects for this. I thought, okay, well, that sounds pretty good. Is it addictive? He said, well, no, it's not addictive. So I said, great. I took the antidepressant, even though I wasn't depressed, and it worked. The side effect of the antidepressant was having 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. And that was really what I was after. But the side effects, not the major side effects, were that it started to make me very emotional. And it also gave me a lot of anxiety, had bad anxiety attacks, and also suffered from a bit of depression. I thought that this wasn't healthy and I had to get off of it. So I finally weaned myself off of the antidepressant, stopped taking it. Had to try something else. So then I went to a health counselor who specialized in sleep disorders. She said that I should try something that helps most insomniacs, which is called cognitive behavioral therapy. This really did help me, and the 2 main factors that worked best were sleep scheduling. That's where you set a time to sleep at night and wake up in the morning within a half an hour's time frame of that period of time. The other thing is good sleep hygiene. You want to make sure that your bedroom or sleep environment is dim, cool, and not noisy. You can black out the windows if you want to with a blackout screen. You can also wear earplugs or put on a mask. These are all ways that I've tried that were successful. And good sleep hygiene goes even farther, to try to wind down your mind and your body before you go to sleep. Stop anything that has to do with a screen about an hour before bedtime. And also cut out alcohol, caffeine, and also just try to do some stretching and relaxing. Meditation is another method that I tried that was successful. There is a Calm app that is free for Kaiser members. This has different relaxation techniques and also has good sleep stories and other ways to relax. One last thing is stretching. That's really way I wind down and de-stress and get back into the mode of going to sleep. So it's basically a combination effect of all of these that really has helped me sleep better. I've been sleeping better for about 4 to 5 months, which is great. In conclusion, overall, you have to realize that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, but you have to seek that light. Try to find a medical or health professional that is right for you, that will help you. And also try to take non-medical ways of getting to sleep before resorting to medication. But overall, I want you to sleep better and healthier for your body and your mind. And now go get some sleep. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. And Bronnie, please put a minute on the timer and the judges can take a minute to do their thing.
A minute is up.
Thank you very much. Sarah, before we start your speech, can we do a sound check, please?
Check 1, check 2, check 3.
Excellent, Sarah. And I just want to ask if you can see the timer, please.
I can see Barani.
That's great. Thank you. I'd like to introduce our next contestant, Sarah Boesfield. Not all heroes wear capes. Not all heroes wear capes. Sarah Boesfield.
Not all heroes wear capes. What if you could be a superhero and your power was to give life? The superheroes that gave me life are blood donors. I'm going to take you back to a year when my life was forever changed. It was the year 2000, the new millennium. We had survived Y2K. Things in my life were finally going my way. I was excited. I felt strong. And I was making plans. And then the bottom dropped. One day, coming home from a kickboxing class, I saw the light blinking on my answering machine. Remember those? There were several messages from my doctor's office. I had been there earlier in the day for a routine appointment. When I listened, they told me, "You need to call us back immediately." Each message sounded more urgent than the previous. So I called back, and the woman told me, "You need to get to the hospital immediately to be admitted. Your blood levels are dangerously low." What? I was shocked. Fear flooded my body. I didn't know what to do. So I called my neighbor, but the words wouldn't come out. She was on my front porch before I could hang up the phone. And she took me to the hospital where I was admitted. And they took my blood. And they took more. And then they took more. This was very alarming. Hadn't they just said, "You have dangerously low blood levels"? Well, it turns out I have a rare disease. My bone marrow had stopped manufacturing blood cells. And without blood, you die. The only cure for this disease is a bone marrow transplant, which I was not a candidate. But there's a treatment that could put me in remission. So luckily, I was able to do that. And I've been in and out of remission several times. And it was during that time I was fighting for my life. And my life depended on the blood of strangers. Like a vampire. I don't know the name of these donors, but I have a heartfelt gratitude for them. I know the towns they're from. So thank you, Wichita. Thank you, Oakland. My husband, Jim, has given blood for years. He's an A positive guy. Now he gives blood for me, even though he's not my type. Be positive. Did you know that 40% of Americans could give blood? But in reality, only about 5% give blood. I find we need blood every day, but it's usually the disasters and emergencies that brings people out to give blood. So in my experience, I have found by telling my story that it has inspired people. Words have power. My stepdaughter, after hearing my very first speech about giving blood, she started to donate. I heard from a fellow Toastmaster that she was inspired to have a drive at her work. Other people have told me that, oh, I've reminded them that yes, they should give blood. So this has made me realize that it's important that I tell my story and share my story. You may be wondering how you too could give blood. You can contact the Red Cross at redcross.org. And wouldn't it be great if someday someone asked you, what's your superpower? And you could say, I save lives. I'm a blood donor. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Sarah. And Veronica, can you please put a 1 minute for the judges timer on, please?
Time is up.
Thank you, Veronica. Jim, before I introduce you, could we do a sound check, please?
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes. And can you see the timer, please?
Ronnie. Hi, Ronnie.
Thank you very much. Our fifth contestant tonight, Jim Christian, Connected by Blood. Connected by Blood, Jim Christian.
(2010), 10 years ago. Sarah and I were not married yet, but we were connected by blood. With almost 40 years as a blood donor, I am connected to very many people. Blood has connected me to people I know, to people I don't know, and to people I don't know yet. She shivered underneath the warm blankets, and her hand was cold to my touch as the cool blood flowed into her arm. I looked up to the bag of blood, and I thought about my first blood donation. And I remembered how through blood, I was connected to a father that I never expected. It was 1983, and as I pulled up into the driveway, my father-in-law, Dave, stepped off his front porch. He was a big man with a warm smile. But on this day, he had a serious look on his face. He leaned into my car and he asked me 3 questions. Are you feeling well today? Did you eat lunch? Do you have an hour? I answered yes to all 3. And with a big smile on his face, he jumped into my car and said, "Take me to the hospital." Dave taught me many things. On that day, I learned about blood, giving, and needles. Sarah stirred in the bed, and the thoughts again pounded into my head. She's not sick. She doesn't look sick, but she was sick. And I'd known about it since our second date 7 years before. We were hiking up a steep trail. We were talking about ourselves as we walked along so that we could find some common ground. The trail narrowed ahead. The trailhead narrowed and Sarah took the lead. And I thought to myself, this beautiful woman sure has some fine assets. I didn't hear a lot of the words that came next as they flew over her right shoulder. She said words like remission, rare disease, saved by blood. I was excited to tell her about my 20 years as a blood donor. And as we reached to the top of the hill, all I could do was gasp for breath and say, if you need, I can bleed. A fresh bag of blood hung on the rack, on the ivy rack. And I saw it there, a red cross. Sarah's eyes were closed, but I knew she was not at rest. Inside her very bones, a war was raging as mutant white blood cells attacked her bone marrow, and she was unable to manufacture blood. I was connected to the Red Cross. Volunteers just like me, doctors, donors, and delivery drivers, we all joined forces to save this woman that I loved. I'm connected to thousands of people through blood that I don't know. As I held Sarah's hand, I saw her wristband and the words on there. Blood type, B positive. I knew my blood type and it was not B positive. I thought back a couple days to my most previous blood donation. Right before they stuck the needle in, the nurse asked me, please confirm your blood type. And I said, that's easy. I was born an optimist. I'm A positive. It says here that you're type O. No, that's a typo. As I squeezed Sarah's hand, her eyes opened. And all I could think to say was, be positive, be positive. But what I wanted to say is, I can't marry you. You're not my type. As I said, be positive, her eyes slowly closed. And she told me, you're such an optimist. Sarah was dependent on blood for over 6 months. But fortunately, there was a treatment that put her in remission. And for 9 years, she's been healthy. We were married 5 years ago, but before we were married, before we were connected by marriage, we were connected by blood. As Toastmasters, we're encouraged to give 100%. As a blood donor, that's a bad idea. I leave you with 3 questions. Are you feeling well today? Did you have lunch? Do you have an hour to save a life? Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. And timer, please put a minute on for the judges. Okay, the judges are in the judges room. So what we're going to do now is begin going to visit a little bit with the contestants, hear a little more of their stories, get a little of their feedback. And we don't exactly know how long the judges are going to take. So what I'd like to do is just speak with each speaker for a minute, and then we'll come back and keep doing as many talks with the speakers as we can. But I want to make sure we get to hear from all of the speakers. Prem, I'd like to start with you, please. And I'd just like to ask you, it's been just a pleasure hearing your speeches the last few months. You're an inspiration. I really enjoy hearing you talk. Can you tell us what your plans are for 2021? And I'd like to ask the speakers if you could just kind of keep it to 1 minute so we can, I just want to make sure we can talk to as many speakers. Thanks, Prem.
Sure. Thanks, Toastmaster. One of my goals for this, give me 1 minute. I'm just reset. I'm setting the timer. Yeah, thanks, Toastmaster. One of the goals for my 2021 is, of course, the Ironman. So I'm practicing every day for 2 hours, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. And that is one thing that I'm doing consistently. And every Saturday I run like half marathon, and Sunday I bike for like 30 miles. So I've done this in the month of January. So I couldn't do it today or yesterday because it was raining. But hopefully I'll be doing it from this weekend. That's my major goal. Is for the Ironman that is scheduled in September. And then the career work also. My office work, I have some plans for my office work. So I'm focusing on this. So these are the 2 priority items for the year 2021.
Thank you, Prem. Gwen, I'd like to speak with you next. And you've been such an inspiration. We love having you as our president. Do you have anything that you're looking forward to in 2021 or plans that you'd like to tell us about for this year?
I absolutely want to finish my pathway. I think the contest definitely delayed it a little bit, but that is my goal. Before June, I want to finish my pathway, set a great example for my members in the club. If we can travel, like I mentioned, I definitely want to go to Japan with my family. We love the place there. The food is awesome. Shopping, always lose control, buying too much stuff in Japan. So yeah, and then another thing is I want to learn a front split. I've been doing yoga. I've been doing a lot of stretch. Front split is the goal that I set for myself. Thank you.
Wow. Okay, that's going to be pretty hard to do. Let us know how you're doing with that. Hey, Ken, I'd like to speak with you next, please. Ken, I know 2020 has been just a super hard year, but you're a trooper. You're a wonderful mentor. I know you're, on the recovery side of that. How are you doing from 2020 to 2021, and what do you see coming for the new year?
I see really good things coming for 2021. Hopefully we can all get the vaccine and we can all start to get back to some amount of normalcy. I really feel that once we all feel more comfortable around each other, we're not all wearing masks, or at least occasionally not wearing masks would be really helpful. Some of the things I would really like to do in 2021 are more hikes. I really enjoy hiking, and I feel that it's a really good exercise. It's great to get out in nature, and it really makes you feel connected to the earth. It sounds kind of hokey, but you really get a sense that you're not alone, that there's a world out there, especially when we're all living in shelters right now, or a lot at home. So that's my plan, is get out more and do more hiking.
Thank you, Ken. Let's get an F.A.T. hike going. I'll be there.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
love it. Great idea. Thank you. Hey, Sarah, can we talk with you for a minute? And you've been a inspiration with health and fitness goals.
Sure. I'm listening.
Siri answered when I said Sarah there. Sorry about that. So Sarah, would you like to tell us about some healthy habits for 2021 that you're doing and that you can share with us, please?
Sure, thank you. Well, 2021 hasn't started off too well for me. I'm struggling with issues with my hip and my back. So one of the things that I've been doing is going through physical therapy, and the exercises that she's given me, I've created I guess you'd call it a yoga routine without all the poses, but it has a flow to it, and it really helps me to be able to get through my exercise and not struggle too much. I'm hoping that that will help me. I'm missing the walking and running very much, but I've got an upright bike in my living room now, so I pull that out and I get on that, and I try for at least 30 minutes a day. If I get more, that's wonderful. If I don't beat myself up on. I just take each day as they come and not try to be the best all the time, but flow with whatever's going on in my body that day.
Be the best you can be. Thank you, Sarah. And Jim, like to talk to you for a minute. How's the move coming? And we really are going to miss you too. But hopefully we'll see you on Zoom. But can you tell us about 2021 and what you're expecting this year?
Sure, Patty. Thank you, Patty. You're doing a great job, by the way. 2021 is a watershed year for me. For 60 years, I've lived within a 30-mile radius. And in a couple weeks, Sarah and I are packing up and we're moving almost 3,000 miles away. I'm finally going on an adventure with my life. I don't know what's in store, but I know we have a new house that we bought in a little vacation town in northern Michigan. I have no idea how I'm going to do in the cold, but I have someone to snuggle with. I don't know if that was a minute, but here we go.
What town is it? What city?
It's called Traverse City, and it's in northern Michigan. It's a big vacation town. If you're from Michigan, then you know Traverse City. They used to have the mental hospital there, and if you went to Traverse City in Michigan, meant you're crazy.
Oh no, I didn't know that. Oh dear. All right, Prem, let's come back to you. And can you please tell us about, what you do for a living, what you do in your free time? What would you like to tell us about, Prem?
Sure. I work as a senior network engineer for Apple. I've been working for that organization for the last 6 years, and it's been there are ups and downs. I'm not going to deny that, but so far it has been an amazing experience. And for the last 1.5 years, pretty much as Sarah said, I'm taking every day at a time. I'm not thinking about the staircase. I'm not looking at the staircase. I'm just looking at the stairs, and that has given me a lot of values, a lot of success also, and even Toastmasters also. I joined just because I feel this is one of the great platform for any motivational person to come and succeed. That's all I have, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Prem. Appreciate that. And Gwen, we're going to move to you next. And can you tell us about your work or your pastimes, what you enjoy doing?
Maybe work. I work for Kensington, and I lead the R&D department and also product management department. So in Kensington actually makes computer accessories. So like trackball, keyboard, mouse, docking stations, those products are Kensington's products. We're in the industry for more than 30 years. We are a small company, but we are a global company. So in the morning, I talk to Europe. In the day, I talk to US and Australia. In the evening, I got to call Asia. So it's just throughout the day, a lot of Teams meeting. We use Teams. And then we've got the Zoom. So sometimes a little bit fatigue about the video conferencing, but I'm still adjusting to it. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Gwen. Appreciate that. And Ken, yes, you are up next. Would you like to tell us about, what you do during the day and what you do for your pastime?
Sure. Well, I work for a company called Air Systems, and it's an HVAC or heating, ventilation, and air conditioning company. I'm a sales rep, and that's why I first got into Toastmasters, is because you got to talk to people, got to relate, and they got to trust you, or I'll make them trust me. But no, it's really been helpful. I love Toastmasters. And I think the thing that I love most about Toastmasters is the people. Sounds cheesy, but I don't think JD and I would have stuck with Toastmasters if it wasn't for the great people that are in the organization. I could go through everybody, but I love you guys all. And I think that it's our friendship that is the bond that will keep us together. It sounds another cheesy thing, but really think that it's a special organization and it's really helped me grow, and I hope it helps everybody else.
Thank you, Ken. Yes, I'm thoroughly enjoying the community that we've got here. It's been a joy. And Sarah, would you like to tell us about what you do during the day and in your pastime?
Okay, I work at Kaiser Permanente. I am employee wellness coordinator, so I do worksite wellness programs and try to keep the employees moving, grooving, staying well. This year's been a real focus on self-care and coming up with different ways that they can take care of themselves, such as the meditation and doing yoga, doing things remotely. We even have been doing crafts like painting and stuff. We've created little painting kits that they can take to their desk, and then we have a Teams meeting or Zoom meeting where they can learn how to do these things, and that's helped people. The other thing the biggest thing I do is a running program, a run club for our participants, and we're coming to the end where everybody is going to either run a half marathon or a 10K. It's a 13-week program. Jim and I are head coaches.
15 years.
And this is our 15-year anniversary. So that is my legacy I'm going to be leaving behind. And I'm excited that we were able to make it work during the pandemic.
Thank you, Sarah. So Jim, I'd like to ask you, what do you do during the day in your pastime?
I do lots of things, Patty. I have an old car in my garage. It's a 62-year-old Volkswagen. and it's got a big bowling sunroof. And a year and a half ago, I took it completely apart, and now I'm putting it back together, and I'm like at 90% probably. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful car. Sarah and I have the run club that we've been head coaches of for many years. We get up and speak, and Toastmasters has only enhanced our ability as coaches and communicators. And I do a physical job now. I'm a welder, and I put things together. I'm a craftsman. I put things together with my hands, and that brings me a lot of pleasure.
Thank you very much, Jim. I'm going to go around again. I don't know if we're going to finish everybody, but I just want to keep going and see how we do. Prem, I'd like to ask you, I know you've talked a little bit about what brought you to Toastmaster, but how do you feel your Toastmaster journey is going, and what are some of your goals that you'd like to share with us?
Oh, definitely. Thanks, Toastmaster. And I've been part of Toastmaster for quite some time, in the sense that I used to join in 2013. I completed my competent communicator, and then I felt that I reached my pinnacle, and then I stopped coming to Toastmasters. And it took nearly 5 years for me to realize that speaking is like a skill that you have to practice every day, otherwise it's going to go away. And that's one of the reasons I joined back Toastmaster. And to be honest, F.A.T. Toastmaster is one of the things that's very close to my heart. I see a lot of people, as a Ken said, I can mention by name, but I'll not do justice if I'm not doing naming all the people. But this group is one of the group that I feel that I cannot talk to even one of my close friends. I can come and talk to everyone here. So that gives me the confidence of having the trust factor in this group. And everyone in this group are very great. For example, Jean is my mentor, and she calls me one day at 9:30 in the evening, and then, Prem, are you ready with the speech and those things? So these kind of care and trust, I cannot see anywhere. So I'm very glad to be part of this group. Thank you.
Thank you, Prem. That's wonderful. Hey, I hear the judges are coming back. Let me see. I don't know if we're ready yet. Can you tell, or JD? Can we do a few more interviews?
Do a couple
Okay.
more, and then I can start with the acknowledgements too. So.
Oh, great. Can I turn it over to you, Is that?
Oh, sure.
Is that you or Sherry?
I'm going to give the acknowledgements. Although
great.
Everybody that's in F.A.T. knows who was really the lead co-chair here. But I was blown away by how much detail goes into making a contest. But I'm going to echo Ken, it was like worth it because everybody just stepped up and pitched in. This is such a great group. So first of all, I'd like to thank George Fernandez for giving up his evening to take us on a flight and give us a great target speech. And then he's still here, I think, but anyway. Patty, you did a great job as Toastmaster. You just kept it going. Thank you so much. Chris is not here. He's our chief judge. He's still out there with the ballot counters, but thank you, Chris. And Karen was our sergeant at arms. And besides just starting the meeting on time, she also was in the breakout room with the evaluation contestants, making sure that they had their hands up so they weren't like cheating and working and getting extra time. Barani, everybody saw Barani with his backgrounds, but also Vinay Bande was our second timer. Wave Vinay. He volunteered to be timer the same night he joined the club, as I recall, which is quite something. I appreciate that. Anna Shastri and Eric Wilson were our ballot counters, but they're still counting, I guess. And JD, are you gonna make an appearance or no? He's just gonna, this whole thing wouldn't have run without JD. And the other thing that he was just so good about answering all my picky unit questions about how does this form work and how can we do this and how do the breakout rooms work? He was just marvelous. And finally, I'd like to thank all the judges who I can't name because they're supposed to remain anonymous, but I really appreciate, especially the ones that came from other clubs to help us out. That was wonderful of you. And appreciate all the district people that are here and all the guests. So thank you. Now I was going to turn it over to Sherry, but she's not here yet. So
I do not see Sherry yet. I would like to continue with interviews then, if we can do that then. So I think.
Patty, may I suggest, and while we're waiting, if we just quickly acknowledge a few of our guests, other guests that we haven't acknowledged yet? I know we don't have time, but.
And are there any other guests that would like to speak? I'm looking at the screen.
I see Nicole. Who's Nicole? Nicole, are you there?
Hi, everyone. This is Nicole.
Hi. How'd you find it?
Thank you so much. Thank you for invitation, especially thanks for Sherry. She invited us. I'm a member of Andisha Club in Oakland near 2 years, and I'm grateful to join to your meeting tonight.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you. Are there
Thank you.
other?
I'll say hi.
Lisa, hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa. I am delighted to be here tonight. I have seen many of you on the other end of things. I've been on the back end of TLI. I know Sarah has been a target speaker for a contest for me before. So it's nice to be on the other side and see that. And because I know how much effort it takes on everyone's part, front end, back end, side ends, to make this role, I'm really impressed with what's going on. And I love contest season. We are just beginning. And, you know, I encourage everyone to support all the other contests, because as you see from your own club contests, they are resource heavy and support heavy as well. So good job, everyone. It's delightful to be here. Thank you. And Sherry invited me. And of course, Sherry has been a hero in TLI being a tech host. So
thank you, Lisa. Would Trish or Meredith or is
Patty, I think there's Fatim or Fahim is a guest that maybe you haven't spoke with.
Fahim, are you there? Not sure. Okay, so I see Chris back. Chris, are you ready? Or Sherry? Sherry's back. I see.
Yes, we're ready. And I think everybody else is ready. Now, did Erm already do the acknowledgement?
Yes. And
okay.
Erm, do you want to acknowledge, like Chris and Sherry, they didn't get to hear that you
Yeah.
As well as the ballot counters?
Yes, Anna Shastri, can we see you? And Eric? Where are you? Eric. Thank you, guys. And then Chris.
They were ballot counters.
Yes, they were ballot counters. And Chris, you've seen during his announcements. I don't think he's back yet.
Thank you.
Oh, there you are. Yes, thank you. Okay, to you, Sherry.
Okay. Wow. Thanks for everyone and their patience. It's kind of a crazy night. What can you say? First of all, I want to announce that there will be 2 winners out of our club. Because of the area having only 4 clubs in its area, we are able to send 2 winners. So therefore, the first and second winners of each of the competition will be going to the area I-29 contest, which is on February the 17th, starting at 6:30 p.m. With that, I'd like to make the announcements of the winners for the evaluation contest. And can we have a pretend virtual drum roll? All right. Our 3rd place winner for the evaluation contest, and who will be the alternate if the other 2 cannot make it, is Prem Kamor Somasundaram. So Prem, congratulations, 3rd place. Our 2nd place winner in the evaluation contest is Ken Cohn. Congratulations, Ken. And big drum roll for our 1st place winner is Gwen Shu. So Gwen Shu is our 1st place winner. Gwen and Ken will represent F.A.T. at the area I-29 contest. Now, the next is the International Speech Contest. Drum roll. There we go. And again, as I said, 2 individuals will be going to represent the club. 3rd place is Prem Kamor Somasundaram. He's 3rd place. He will be the alternate if the other 2 are unable to make it. Oh, I need to share, I forgot to share that we did have 1 disqualification of timing for the International Speech Contest. I'm sorry to fail to mention that. Our 2nd place winner is Sarah Bosville. Sarah Bosville is our 2nd place winner. And our 1st place winner is Gwen Sue. Gwen Sue is our 1st place winner. So Sarah and Gwen will be representing our club at the area I-29 contest on February 17th. Mark that on your calendar at 6:30. And of course, it will be virtual. And with that, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our president, Gwen Sue.
Thank you, Sherry, and the staff for leading a successful contest. When I watch a speech contest or any contest, I notice that there are 2 types of audience. One type of audience are like, huh, I can do better than that. And another type of audience is thinking, wow, they're really good. I don't know if I can do that if I were one of them. What type of audience are you? For the contestants, including myself, honestly, we were competing with ourselves. Did we do better this year than last year? Did we do better today than yesterday? Did we have more confidence in standing in front of a big audience? Did we see opportunities to improve? For members and guests, you just witnessed our growth. And I hope it planted seeds in your mind to explore the charm of public speaking. Thank you for joining us tonight. Feel free to stay if you like. Don't forget about the area contest on February 17th. And good night, everyone. Bye.
Can we take a group picture? I know it's late.
Congratulations, everyone.
Can we take a big group pictures? JD? We have a lot of people here. Let's take a group picture. Celebrate. Congratulate. Everyone turn on your video.
We got to go into gallery mode, huh? Okay, there we go.
I feel like a bobblehead.
He says he's
Thank
got.
you, everyone. Great evening.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Great job, everyone. You did-
Everyone, thank you. Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for having
Good night,
us.
everybody. Good job, Patty.
Good night.
Maybe
Great
good
job.
night.
Great job,
Good
Sherry.
night. Good job, you guys.
Jerry, thank you. I can tell that this is a lot of work.